Welcome to Rochester Business Connections, powered by Balbert Marketing, LLC, where I get the chance to chat with Rochester, New York's very best business owners, entrepreneurs, and thought leaders. I am your host, Ben Albert. Don't forget to subscribe, and remember, we don't do advertisements. My fee for this show is simple. If you gain value from the episode, personally share with a friend and explain your favorite part. Let's get started. Welcome, everybody. I am here with Marshal Scheidt. What's going on, Marshall?
Hey, not too much, man. Having a good day so far. How about you?
Same. Excited to do this, excited to have you on the show. And, Marshall has a lot to teach us all. He ultimately empowers people to help gain financial freedom. Is that pretty much it? Give us a bird's eye view, tell the listeners what you do, Marshall.
Yeah, no, you nailed that. I think you might have seen that on my LinkedIn little catch line there, whatever that's called. But yeah, no, I'm a financial advisor. Been doing this this is my 6th year, I believe, already, which is crazy to me. But yeah, I mean, it's been a really awesome time doing this. I love what I do. I love kind of explaining what I do to people, like in a more intimate setting, just because I think there's a ton of misconceptions about what financial advisors are and what they do, and rightfully so, though, because there's a lot of like I said, misconceptions out there, I guess. But no, what I do though, I really do take pride in helping people in the best of my abilities, and I think that is through exactly what I do here, just helping people, whether that be budgeting, saving for retirement, figuring out what to do with their money. Is really just I just love it.
Good. I love that. Why finance? I mean, that's something I think you don't grow up thinking I'm going to be a financial advisor one
Yeah,
day,
no.
right?
Yeah, it's a little obscure. That's actually so funny that you say that, though. It's like it's definitely a little bit more of a delayed gratification, I think is the right word I'm looking for there. But
Yeah.
it's a lot different than like being a doctor or something like that, where you're obviously immediately helping somebody. Because that's what I wanted to be, like a doctor, a nurse, surgeon, something like that growing up. And growing up until I got to be about 14 and I had to start taking those bio classes, not into those. Right. So I was kind of like, I was just watching TV one night and I saw a commercial for a financial doctor. As a kid, I was 14, 15, whatever it was. And that made a lot of sense to me. I was like, okay, so this person's helping someone, like not medically or health wise, but like more like financial health wise, I guess. But yeah, no, that's kind of where that came from. So I've known I wanted to do this for a really long time. Just kind of, obviously at that age, though, I had no clue what being a financial advisor was. But you kind of pick that up and learn it. You get in with the right people, and you develop a passion for it.
Which is huge. We didn't introduce the company. So you're a partner at a firm here locally in Rochester, right? Tell us about who you work with.
Yep. So I'm with 6 Point Financial Partners. It's an independent firm, which is huge, and really excited about that. Actually, we've been in business now for a couple of years. The group that I'm with is just a bunch of awesome people that we actually met at our previous firm, and we wanted to do things a little bit differently than how I guess it would be possible there. So we left and kind of started our own thing, and we call it 6 Point Financial Partners. So we've been kind of crushing it, doing really well, and I love it.
Congrats, and I'm sure you've got part of the fun of the business is you deal with people and all different kinds of clients, all different kinds of needs. What's that like navigating, different relationships? And I mean, tell us about your clients. There's not just a specific client you work with, right? It's a little bit of everything.
Yeah. So, I mean, if you listen to all the financial planning podcasts and everything, they always tell you to pick a niche or like a specific group of people, which I think is really, really valuable. Okay. And not pigeonholing yourself, but definitely just becoming an expert in a certain field. They tell you that's the best way to get success as a financial advisor, because it's a tough thing to start out with, which makes complete sense to me. I totally agree with that. But I really, really like just talking to different types of people and, figuring out why they're doing what they're doing. So like, I would say if I did have a niche, it would be public school employees. Just because I've been working with public school employees for a long time. I'm really good at that, I think, and I can definitely help them out. But whether it's a public school employee, a nurse, just people who help other people, that's the kind of people I really like to work with, just because I think the conversations that we have is just awesome. I was just texting the client earlier. He is totally not in financial planning at all, but I love hearing his ideas for me to help clients also, just like him. You know what I'm saying? Just because he has such good ideas, and just the conversations that come from those ideas are just absolutely awesome, no matter what they're doing. You know what I mean? Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. I see a trickle down effect that you help people that help people, and it's just a ecosystem of good relationships in that regard.
Yeah. I mean, and you talk to people all day too, so you get it. It's like just talking to a different person, you can gain so much value no matter really what they're doing or what they need or what they want, or however I can help them, I love to do that. I mean, sometimes these people don't need help with their money or something, but just connect. And you do this exactly with this podcast. Awesome idea. Just connecting people with different people that might be able to help them. You know what I mean?
Yeah, everybody you meet every day has something you don't know. So we have a lot to learn
Yeah, so
always.
much opportunity. I love it.
So you guys ultimately is an ambitious move going off and starting your own financial firm. Any values or missions or a mission statement, any kind of core values that the firm was built on?
Yeah, so I really truly believe that all the guys that I work with and all the people that I work with have the same, I guess, motivating factor, in that they wish. And this sounds super cheesy, and I totally understand that, but we just want to do what's right for people and just do it in the best way possible, in the most efficient way possible. And just unfortunately, we weren't really able to do that where we were, just with different factors, and that completely makes sense. But just being on our own with no one to tell us what to do or how to do it, it just makes such a world of difference. Like, our job has become easier, and we just do so much better for people by being in the position we are now. But yeah, I mean, all of us share that, and I think just understanding that, trusting each other with that, is just the biggest part of why we had to do that and go off on our own.
It's huge. It's huge. That's why I love talking to small businesses, helping the Rochester community. This podcast is all about connecting business to client in Rochester. You're actually wearing a Bill shirt right now,
Oh yeah.
so you're a local guy, right?
Oh yeah, I grew up in Webster, went to Brockport for college, and now I live in just next to Rondequoit in Rochester, um, right over on in the North Winton Village area there. I love this area. I'll probably be here for a really long time. But yeah, no, I'm glad you noticed the Bills attire I got on right now, because I don't know when this will come out, but the day that we're recording on it is that Tuesday night game against the Titans. So I had to rep the Bills today. Just, I love them. I have loved them forever, and I like working with Bills fans.
Is Josh Allen going to win MVP this year?
Oh man, I don't know about that, but if he does, that's great. If not, I still love him. You know what I mean? He's just so much fun to watch. He's like you can't. I've never met someone who hates him. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't not enjoy watching him play, unless he's
Mhm.
playing against your team sometimes, I guess. But yeah, no, he's what I've been waiting for, I think, for a little while. Which sounds weird because the guy's younger than I am, but you know.
Hey man, future of the franchise. It's great to see someone. He's got a good attitude. You're right. He's one of those players that you just gotta love to watch to play, and it seems like he really brings the team together, which is a good leadership thing to have
Exactly,
in
man.
his role.
Exactly. He's got a great attitude. He's obviously passionate about what he does, and I love that about I love that about him. I like I just said, I love it about everybody who's just passionate about what they do and obviously loves it. And he's a really good quarterback, I think, for the Bills. So
Yeah, always love Rochester with the Buffalo Pride. I love the whole region. But let's talk strictly Rochester. Let's say you're out on a Friday, Saturday, Sunday, not watching the game, but you're out and about. Where are we going to run into you? Any favorite things to do in the area?
Yeah, no, I really like going so I think the brewery scene in Rochester is awesome. So I really I really love just going to different breweries around here. As far out to Canandaigua, just like these local breweries, just because like you said, it's a local small business owner who, I think just going in and maybe snapping a picture and then putting it up on social media that you're there or whatever, just a little advertising here and there for these local businesses. I think it's awesome. And also they all have a little something different. I love drinking like different craft beers and finding out about what people are doing and just conversation. Again, it all comes back to conversation, but the conversation that I have with some like brewery owners, I think is just awesome just because they're obviously loving what they're doing. I love hearing about what they're doing to get their business better, just because I think I can draw a lot of parallels between what they're doing and what I can do for people too. You know what I mean?
It's interesting you say that. So you're learning from everybody. You can learn from a brewer parallels about the financial industry.
Yeah, no
Um,
doubt. Because like I think you just touched on it though. It's like they're a business owner. I'm a business owner, just doing things right for people and just getting out there and I, I keep saying this. It sounds so cheesy, but having conversations with people, you can literally learn something from literally every single person that walks past you. You know what I mean? I think if you have that mindset, um, I think you'll be successful in whatever you're trying to do.
Yeah, it's a winner's mentality, and I'm happy you brought up breweries because I love beer. Uh, no hesitation to admit it, and I think it's great that, to my understanding, New York State has tax exemptions and different things in store that make it very profitable and easy to start a brewery. And there's just been so many opening up. I know you said you're from the Webster area. I love K2.
Yep.
That's shout out to them. They're a great brewery in the Penfield Webster area, and there's a million more that we could mention.
Oh, I know. And it's so weird though because Webster's got a bunch of them. Like you said, K2, Knucklehead, Witchcraft. They're just like in that mile range. There's three great breweries that, it's just unbelievable. It's so cool to me, I think. But like I said, it's just going in there and just talking to different people is just what I would be doing on a Friday, Saturday night, which is not typical, I guess, but that's just I love it. Not annoying, not in an annoying way, right?
Well, it seems like, with financial advisory, you're helping people grow. You're forming relationships with them, you're building plans that are going to help them. Obviously, learning from people, making those connections seems to be really important to you. I'm wondering where that came from. Do you have any mentors or people that kind of steered you in that direction? Anybody that we could learn from that ultimately you've learned from them and you can pass it along to us?
Yeah, no, absolutely. Like I said, and again, I know this sounds like canned or cheesy, whatever, but just helping people is like just it's such a cool thing for me. Just being able to make someone feel better about whatever it is they're doing, whether it's about their money or just even about themselves. But sharing that view with the people that I work with is awesome. So the guys, I fell into a pretty good group at our old firm there, but this guy, Dave Paulsini, comes to mind when you ask about a mentorship. He's actually starting a podcast for us also. That maybe I can give a quick plug to. It hasn't been released yet, but maybe it will be by the time this episode comes out. But it's called Dear Rochester, Retire Well. So if you wanted to check out that podcast, you will gain value from it. I promise. Just because, like I said, every conversation you have with that guy, you come away with something like, wow. You know what I mean? It's like, oh wow. Like whether it's even just motivating to get up out of bed and do something great that day. That's kind of his catchphrase. Make today great, or make it a great day. That's what it is. Make it a great day.
Sure.
But yeah, I mean, I've learned a ton from him over the past few years, whatever it's been. He'd be an awesome guy for you to kind of check out his podcast and see what he's all about too, because trust me, he knows what he's doing.
I love to hear it. I'll be honest. The reason I started this podcast is so I could gain a wealth of information from people like you. So I'm definitely going to take that recommendation and check his podcast out, which sounds like it's coming out real soon.
Yep. So that should be we're building up a little bit of a bank first so we can release about I think 4 or 5 episodes at once just so people can kind of go back and binge them a little bit, I guess. But
Same
yeah,
here.
first
Same
yeah,
here.
right. Yep, exactly. So you get that. You get the right idea. But first, second week in November, I think is when you can check that out. And that should be on basically every streaming platform. So that's pretty cool. And like I said, I think no matter really who you are, you're going to find something valuable in it. So highly recommend. Maybe a little biased, but I highly recommend.
Awesome, awesome. I hope to learn something new listening to that podcast. We're learning every day. That's a theme already here. What have you been focused on lately? Have there been any major changes on in the industry? Any just major focuses of education for you right now?
Yeah. So if you connect me on LinkedIn and kind of just track what I'm looking at, I try to learn something because there's so many great people on LinkedIn. I try to learn something every single day. Obviously with COVID happening in the last 6, 7 months or whatever, however long it's been now, I think a lot of this has shifted to virtual meetings and things like that, as everyone's aware, obviously. If you're watching this on YouTube, you can see I'm in my home office here that I've spent a ton of time in over the last 6, 7 months. But just I guess embracing that, I think, and just becoming more flexible in terms of if someone wants to meet like this because they just feel more comfortable, that's totally cool, but it needs to be efficient, right? So just I guess embracing new technology, learning how all this stuff works, just getting different systems in place to make things more efficient and easier on clients, I think is just something that I've been really passionate about over the last 6, 7 months. And it's kind of forced you to be smarter about what you're doing system wise.
Mm.
And, just adapting to this new world that we're all kind of adapting to has just been awesome for me. I love technology and I love learning more about it. So that's kind of where I've been focused for the most part anyway.
No, I love it. You gave me some technology suggestions when we were chatting before this call, and you seem like you're up on the tech. You're up on the times. Is there any cheap purchases, $100 or less, or just something affordable that if someone's a young entrepreneur, business person, or maybe they just have a home office, any gadgets or new things that you couldn't live without?
Yeah, so actually, that's a great question, and I off the top of my head, the very first thing that comes to mind, something so simple and it's so cheap too. I think it's like $8 a month, maybe, but it's a service I've subscribed to. It's called Calendly, and it's Calendly. If I said that weird,
Yeah,
but Calendly,
like a
go on there,
calendar.
calendar, but Lee at the end, I guess. Yeah,
Got it.
yeah. But yeah, I use that and I send that out to clients and they can kind of keep that link and just know that if they need to get a hold of me or something, you can click that link and just schedule something. You see my calendar in real time, to see when I'm available, and just having that to use for clients or even people who think they might want to chat. I can send them a phone call link. They could schedule a phone call, have me call them, they can call me, whatever it is. Just having that is so nice because now I don't have to worry about, hey, like going back and forth. Hey, well, when are you free? Well, this is when I'm free. Oh, it doesn't work for me. Going back and forth, it's so underrated. But that $8 a month has been the best $8 a month I've spent over the last 6, 7 months. Just scheduling Zoom calls, phone calls, even going to grab coffee. Here's the link. Just choose what works for you, and I'll be there. It's just awesome. It makes yourself very available to people, and it's so easy for them to get a hold of me. I love it.
Yeah, I've booked appointments on Calendly. I've never used it myself, and it seems really efficient. My
Yep.
initial concern is sometimes I can be a little bit of a control freak with my schedule. How do you set it up where people aren't just booking a 8 a.m. on your, best friend's birthday? I don't know,
Yeah, no,
anything like that.
that's a very, very real problem, right? But I think they have solved that like absolutely perfectly. I think because you have your calendar on your phone. If you say, "Oh man, my buddy's birthday is coming up. I'm just going to put a block in on that day." That'll transfer it over to Calendly, and they won't be able to schedule something over that. You can also kind of set your hours, right? I actually just did this the other day. I had my hours set incorrectly on a link that I sent to a referral, actually. And she emailed me back and said, "Hey, you know, I need to meet later than 3 o'clock." And I'm like, "Well, yeah." And I look and I had it set wrong. So those are the type of things that I'm still working through, I guess.
Mm.
But you set it to, if you don't want to start a meeting after 6 or 6:30 or whatever it is, you can control that and put it right in there on there. But there's also a free version too. So if you want to check it out, go do that. But it's so helpful, especially for I think you'd find a lot of value in it too. I mean, just having that available to people. You can send them a one-time use link if you don't want them to be able to reuse it.
Okay. Cool.
So you can do that. But yeah, I mean, there's a bunch of different ways you can do it. Like for a local company, I do the 401k for them. So I have a specific link for them where they can choose if they want me to come to the office, if they want to come to my office, or if we can do a Zoom meeting, whatever they prefer, So it's very valuable.
That's awesome. Great tip. I love it. And ultimately, Marshall, I wanna ask you some either or questions, kind of move into a rapid fire round.
Okay.
And this is ultimately so people can get to know you a lot better in just a couple minutes. How's that sound?
Let's do it. I love these.
So, coffee or tea?
Coffee every day.
Beer or wine?
Okay, I know it's supposed to be rapid. I love beer, but I also love wine. Red wine, Chianti. But beer is more readily available to me, I think. So
a lot of the answers to these questions are both for me. So
yep.
I'm with you. A favorite social media platform for people to reach out on?
LinkedIn. I love LinkedIn. Love it.
We're in fall now. Do you have a favorite season?
Fall. It's the elite season, football season, hockey season. I'm a big Sabres fan too. Fall, no doubt.
Shopping online or in the store?
I like going in the store. I like touching things, seeing things, feeling things. That's why this has been a tough time for me. Not been able to go in too many stores like I wanted to.
Going crazy, right?
A little bit.
Do you favorite ice cream flavor?
I'm a chocolate guy or coffee guy.
I like them both too. What about, are you a iOS or Android user?
iOS. And I'm not a snob about it, but it just makes my life so much easier.
I feel like I want to get rid of that question because it's so polarizing.
Oh, I know. I don't want anyone to hate me, but I'm definitely an Apple guy just because I've been brought up on it, the stuff, I guess. I got the iPad, the iPhone that just goes back and forth. It's so easy.
Hell yeah. So we'll do one more. You're hitting the gym, you're on a commute, you're on a walk. You listening to music to get pumped up, or you listening to a podcast?
Oh man. So I'll listen to Fleetwood Mac if I'm listening to music, but generally I'm more so about podcasts. And everyone asks me, "Oh, what kind of podcast do you listen to?" I listen to the most boring, probably to you podcast, but Financial Advisor Success podcast by Kitsis is just definitely my favorite one. I download those ones actually. But then Top Advisor Marketing, just learning how to basically be a better marketer because I did not go to school for that. I find a ton of value in those types of things. I just like listening to other people's success stories, I guess, and that really motivates me.
I'm with you. Education is key, man. There's we've said it a million times. There's so much to learn, and when people can tell their story, and you can learn their story to, shorting the learning curve on your own, it's always a positive thing. Always a positive thing.
Yeah, I wish I could give you a better fun recommendation for a podcast, but that's really what I'm listening to.
No, I appreciate it, brother. I listen to a lot of what a lot of people would consider boring podcasts as well. I go for the information, man. I'm an information junkie.
Yeah, no, it makes me feel more efficient too. You know what I'm saying? Like if I'm in the gym or something, I'm on a bike or whatever I'm doing. If I'm listening to Michael Kitces tell me about something that's out there that I didn't know about that would help me or help my clients, it's like, again, it sounds cheesy, but I love it. I love that. I nerd out on that stuff.
I love it. I love it. Just to kind of close out, is there anything that I didn't ask you that, I would have asked you if I knew a little bit more about you or your business?
No, I think we got a good bird's eye view of this. I do I do just want to say, don't believe the myths of financial advisors that we just sit around and pick stocks and go golfing and things like that. There's a really good little mini video series on LinkedIn that I shared a few episodes. We're going to get them up on YouTube. They are on YouTube, but they're unlisted. But just things to ask a financial advisor if you're thinking about working with one. There's a good list of 10 questions that we like to have everyone be asking these people that they might be engaging in a work relationship with, like that. And then also, what does a financial advisor do all day? That was another good little mini video series that we did. You'll actually see Dave in those. I think he did a really good job with those. They're kind of funny, just because a lot of people don't understand what we do, and it's definitely not just sitting around picking stocks all day. So, I think I know you'd find those kind of valuable and at least entertaining a little bit. But yeah, look for those in the near future. Connect with me on LinkedIn, and we'll get you those.
Yeah, that's great. So if anybody wants to reach out to Marshall, you'll have the questions to ask him. And since he gave you the questions, you'll have all the right answers, right?
Yeah, right. It's funny. It's like, yeah, we're giving you these questions. You can ask me them, or you can go ask whoever you work with them.
Right.
But realistically, after those 10 questions, you should be able to pretty much figure out if this is someone that you can trust.
Awesome. Awesome. Anywhere else that we didn't touch on so people need to check you out on LinkedIn, anywhere else to keep in touch with your company, and ultimately you're willing to give free advice, free consultations, right?
Oh yeah, no doubt. And it's one of those things. It's like, you hear about all these people who say, oh, I have a minimum and all that stuff. And realistically, I can definitely, and to be completely honest with you, I can help out different groups of people much better than I can certain groups of people. So like, like I said, public school employees, healthcare workers, and just that type of group. I can definitely provide a ton of value to you. If there's someone that maybe thinks they don't have enough money to work with an advisor or whatever, I'm so happy to talk to them at least and see if I can help them in any way. But yeah, I mean, realistically, it's like, I just love talking with people, even if it's just a conversation about the bills or something. It's like, just reach out to me, and if I can help you, I'll be honest with you, and I'll tell you that. If I can't help you, I'll also be honest and tell you that as well. You know what I mean? So, but yeah, I mean, LinkedIn's really the best way to get a hold of me, I think. We have a website, 6pointfp.com. That's something that we update on a regular basis. You can read more about me, I guess, if you want to. But yeah, I mean, LinkedIn is definitely my favorite way of people connecting. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I'd recommend you, Marshall. You're obviously a genuine guy. You're not here to rip anybody off or anything like that. I can tell you're in it for the best interest of your clients, which is hugely important.
Yeah, no, absolutely, and I appreciate that. And when my clients tell me stuff like that, I actually really take that seriously, and I just love hearing that, because that's the thing. It's like with what we do, you don't like wake up from a surgery or something. It's like, oh my god, thank you so much for fixing me, right? It's like, oh wait, okay. After a year or two go by, and you realize like, hey, what we're doing is making a lot of sense and legitimately helping you. I just, that's my favorite part of every client relationship, a year or two down the road, when they're really seeing things happen and seeing things change. That's just what it gets me so fired up, like hearing people say thank you. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I love it, Marshall. And thank you. Thank you for coming on the show. I appreciate
Hey,
having
thanks for
on.
having me, man. I think what you're doing is awesome. And like I said, I'm just been racking my brain just trying to think of other people that you would find value from, that I think would also benefit from being on this podcast. So thank you for doing this. This is awesome.
No, you gave us a lot of great tips. I'm going to be following up and checking out some of that material. So I recommend everyone else do the same. And
You'll love it.
let's talk offline and get some other great guests on the show.
Let's do it, man. I can't wait to see where you take this.
Thanks for listening to Rochester Business Connections. Don't forget to share this, rate, and comment on your favorite platform. You can also email me, ben@balbertmarketing.com. Let's connect soon. Until then, keep thriving, everyone.